I don't stay home alone anymore. Not after that night. I was 16, and my parents were out of town for the weekend. It wasn't the first time I'd had the house to myself, so I wasn't nervous or anything. If anything, I was excited. I ordered food, turned on the TV, and just enjoyed the silence. That kind of quiet you only get when you know no one's coming home. Or at least, that's what I thought. It started around 11:30 p.m. I was in the living room, lights off, just the TV lighting up the space. That's when I heard it. A sound from upstairs. A soft thud. I muted the TV and just sat there, listening. Nothing. I told myself it was probably the house settling or something falling over. Old houses make noise all the time, so I ignored it. About 10 minutes later, I heard it again, this time louder, like something being dragged across the floor, slow, deliberate, and it was definitely upstairs. That's when I felt it. That shift where your brain goes from "it's nothing" to "something's wrong." I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The stairs were completely dark. I just stood there at the bottom, staring up, waiting, hoping I'd hear something that made sense. But it was just quiet. Too quiet. I started going up, slowly. Each step creaked louder than it should have. Halfway up, I stopped. I thought I heard breathing. Not mine. Something soft above me. I held my breath and listened. Nothing. When I got to the top, the hallway was empty. Every door was closed, exactly how I left them. I walked past the bathroom, my parents' room. Then I stopped at my bedroom door. It was slightly open, just a few inches. I was sure I had closed it before going downstairs. I pushed the door open slowly. The room looked normal. Bed, desk, closet. Nothing out of place. I stepped inside anyway, checked behind the door, under the bed. Nothing. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. And that's when I heard it again. This time, it wasn't upstairs. It was downstairs. A floorboard creaked, right below me, in the living room, exactly where I had been sitting. I froze. Every part of me just locked up, because now there was no explanation. I knew I hadn't imagined it. Something was in the house, and it had just moved. I slowly backed out of my room and into the hallway. I didn't turn my back to the stairs. I kept staring at them, waiting for something to come up. But nothing did. I made my way back down, one step at a time, trying not to make a sound. But every step felt too loud, too exposed. When I got to the bottom, I looked toward the living room, and I immediately noticed something. The TV was off. I didn't turn it off. I walked over slowly. The remote was exactly where I left it. The room felt different, heavier, like the air had changed. Then I heard it, behind me, from the kitchen. A whisper. I turned around instantly. "Hello?" My voice didn't sound like mine. No response. Just silence. I walked toward the kitchen. Every instinct in my body was telling me not to. But I couldn't just stay there. I had to know. The kitchen light was off, but there was just enough light from the hallway to see inside. At first, nothing looked wrong. Until I noticed the back door. It was open, just slightly, barely enough to notice, but it was definitely open, and I knew I had locked it. That's when I heard it again, right next to me. Don't. I spun around. There was no one there, but it wasn't in my head. I heard it, clear as day, right next to my ear. I didn't check anything else. I didn't grab anything. I just ran. Out the front door, down the street. Didn't stop until I reached my neighbor's house. We called the police. They searched the entire house. Closets, rooms, everywhere. They didn't find anyone, but they did find something. The attic door in the hallway upstairs. It was open, and I had never opened it before. Nothing was taken, nothing was broken, no signs of forced entry. But I know what I heard. I know what I felt. Something was in that house with me, moving, watching, waiting. And the part that still bothers me the most is that whisper. Because it didn't sound threatening. It didn't sound angry. It sounded like a warning.